I just have a word, right? So what do I do in this, if this is the case? Now this is where a little bit knowledge on root words will help you arrive at the right answer. So that's what we're going to apply. The first one is not a very difficult word, error, right? And I want you to identify the synonym. So I'm going to write down whether we're looking for a synonym or antonym when we look at each question. So in this question, we are looking at a synonym for error, right? So another way for you to do this is you can even dissect the word, right? Look at very obvious prefixes, suffixes and see if you already know the meaning of that. The options that are here for error is misadventure, misgiving, ambiguity and blunder. So what's it going to be? Now if I look at the question itself, I have an obvious ERR, which I'm familiar with because it reminds me of that expression. What is the expression? To err is human, to forgive divine. Yeah, I'm sure you're familiar with this expression, right? So basically what does this mean? As humans, we will make mistakes, right? To err is human, so to make a mistake is human. So having said that, looking at my options, which one closely associates with the word mistake? Right? This is one way of going about finding the answer. The other one is to be familiar with root words. Now, this comes from a French root word called ERR, and there's a Latin root word also. So the French root word ERR means to stray or lose one's way or make a mistake, right? It has the word that I came up with looking at the earlier expression to err is human, to forgive divine, right? The Latin root word is ERRARE, right? I'm not even going to try pronouncing it because I really don't know how to pronounce the Latin and the French way of the word. So I'm just going to spell it out for you. Wander, go astray, be in error. That's what it means, right? So if I'm familiar with the root word, which means all this, it helps me with arriving at the answer, right? The answer is option D. A blunder is a mistake, typically, caused by ignorance or you just being careless. Ambiguity is uncertainty, right? Confusion, doubtful. Misgiving is again, distrust, doubt, apprehension. Misadventure is just a mishap, an unlucky event, right? We know it's not the other three. So, one of the advantages of learning synonyms and antonyms this way is one, you're going to learn a lot of new words and expand your vocabulary. True. And you're also going to understand some common root words which will help you, right, for definitely answering questions like this. Most often, candidates just either take a guess, they do some guesswork, or they skip the question. You don't have to do that, right? So let's look at the next one. So the next one that we have is commensurate, right? For this also we're going to identify the synonym. The synonym for commensurate. So what's it going to be? Options are inadequate, proportionate, beginning and appropriate. Inadequate, proportionate, beginning and appropriate. Commensurate. So think about what could be the response for this. So basically this also has a Latin root, right? The Latin root is, let me write that down. It's like I said, I'm not going to pronounce it COMMENSURATUS, right? Where com means together, right? And mensu, the remaining word, is to measure, of the same size, right? So having said that, looking at the options, we know that something that is of the same size, right, is proportionate. Option 2, not inadequate, not beginning, not appropriate, right? Proportionate. So the synonym for commensurate is proportionate. Now, if you didn't know the meaning of this word as it is, it's going to be challenging. If you knew the Latin root for this, might be slightly helpful. Scintillating. Scintillating. That's how it's pronounced actually, scintillating. The options are smoldering, glittering, touching, and warming. Smoldering, glittering, touching, and warming. So, quick knowledge for you. The Latin root is Scintillat, which means sparkled. Right? It comes from the verb scintillare. Scintilla. To spark. So, having understood this or knowing, having knowledge of this, looking at the options, I know what I can associate sparking with, right? Glittering, not touching, not warming. Smoldering is to burn with little smoke or no flame, right? Or people also use it in expressions where they are expressing anger. Right? She gave a smoldering look. So again, not the right option. We were looking at synonyms again for this, right? So mostly, if you find that the words are, the difficulty level is a little higher, then definitely knowledge on the root words will help you. Voracious. Voracious, this is a word that you could be familiar with or may not be. Might be a new and unfamiliar word. But let's look at the options. Wild, greedy, angry, and quick. So here again, a quick knowledge tip for you. So we have a Latin root, Latin verb, which is V-O-R-A-R-E, which means to eat greedily. So if I know this, I can close my eyes and I can choose option B, which is the answer, right? Greedy. Voracious means greedy. Okay? Refectory. Refectory, let's look at our options. Restaurant, parlor, living room, dining room. Refectory is not a very difficult word. In fact, it is a large hall, usually a dining hall where meals are served. So having said that, let's write that down. So obviously you know your option is option D. So far we've looked at some synonyms. Let's quickly look at some antonyms as well. So we have lucid, and the options are glory, noisy, obscure, and distinct. So again, a knowledge check for you. I'm going to write down the Latin root and then you choose the option. So we all know that when I say root words, usually it's derived from Latin or Greek. Okay, so lucidus is the Latin root for this, which means light, bright, clear, right? So having said that, remember we're looking at antonyms now. So we need the opposite of this. Noisy, irrelevant word. Distinct, again, when I say something is very distinct, I'm referring to it being very clear. Again, it's more like it's definitely not an antonym, right? So the only thing that we left with is glory. When you say glory, you could relate it to someone just shining in their prime because of the glory, right? So you can come back and safely say option C is the opposite of lucid, just by knowing this root. In fact, there is a Latin for this as well, Latin root word, ABSCURES, which means dark. So I know if this is light, the opposite has to be dark. So that's another way of approaching it. Adherent. And the options are advocate, rival, alien, and admirer. Again, we're looking at antonym for this. So, without even looking at the options, let's understand the meaning of the word alone, right? When you say something is an adherent, I can immediately picture something sticking together, right? And in fact, the Latin root is ADHAERENT, which means sticking to. So, looking at the options, I have an advocate, a rival, an alien, and an admirer. So, looking at the options, what can I, or who can I associate with sticking to? Who will stick with you? An advocate is somebody who's pleading for you on your behalf, right? So, somebody who's obviously sticking by your side. A rival, on the other hand, is an enemy. That looks like our option. Alien, again, an irrelevant word here. It's definitely not related in the context. An admirer, again, can be somebody who sticks by you. Could be a follower, could be a supporter, right? So the antonym for adherent here, given the options, has to be B, rival. Gullible. Gullible. Is this a new and unfamiliar word, or is this a word that you already are familiar with? Options: incredulous, fickle, easy, stylish. Again, we're looking at antonym here, right? Gullible. So the root gull is from an Anglo-French origin, which means to deceive or take full advantage of. So when you say somebody is gullible, which means this person can be easily deceived. They will believe anything you say, right? So easy to cheat. So that's the meaning of gullible. Looking at your options, which do you think is the answer? We are looking at antonyms here, right? So C is almost a synonym. Fickle, what do you think? Fickle is that someone, I would say someone who's very unstable, right? Someone who will changeable in person. So again, more like a, I wouldn't say synonym, but closely associated to that. Someone who easily changes, somebody who's unstable, right? Stylish seems like an unrelated word in this context. So what about incredulous? Incredulous is in fact being very skeptical. It's the exact opposite of believing. It's disbelieving. And that is our answer option. Incredulous. Provocation. Provocation. We are familiar, I'm sure you're familiar with the word to provoke. Right? When you say you're provoking somebody, you're inciting them, you're stimulating them to do something. Right? To stir them up. Options are vocation, pacification, peace, destruction. So we're looking at an antonym for this again. Vocation is job, unrelated word. So when I say provocation, in fact, there's a Latin root, provocare, which means to call out, right? To cause someone to become angry or to incite or stimulate to action, to arouse. So what could be the opposite of that? Provocation, pacification. Yeah? To pacify, to soothe down, to calm down. That's the opposite. So remember, some options you might also be, what can I say? You might think even C could be a probable option, but remember in questions like this, we need to choose the most effective one that completes the meaning, either when we're looking for a synonym or an antonym, right? Provocation, to provoke someone, to stir someone. The exact opposite would be to pacify someone, right? So if you have two or more words that you're not sure of, and you're not able to narrow it down to the right answer, apply it in various contexts and see which is the most closest one when it comes to the effectiveness in the meaning. Remiss. The options are forgetful, indifferent, attentive, and harmful. So, quick knowledge tip for you. Remiss, there is a Latin root which is R-E-M-I-T-T-E-R-E, which means slackened. Someone who slacks in their work, which means they're very negligent, right? So, the opposite, we are again looking at antonym. Is it forgetful, indifferent, attentive, or harmful? Somebody who is slackened, somebody who is negligent, the opposite would be someone who is attentive. Option C. Right? So if you look at synonyms and antonyms, basically what we've done is, even if we are not familiar with the word, even if it's a new or unfamiliar word, we've still gone ahead and, for your understanding, I shared a couple of root words, right? Latin root words, which if you are aware of it, it kind of helps you arrive at the answer.